Howdy folks, this is Andy Siegel. We've been working on the house about 6.5 years, and recently we had our walls drywalled and mudded and taped, and Linda did all the painting. But when it came to the floor, we put up all the lights. I think I got 30 lights in this room. But when we did the floor, we didn't want to do carpet because every time we've done carpet in the past, it rains and we get our new carpet all wet and dirty. So we looked into, I couldn't get Linda to paint the floor. So we ended up hiring a company out of Winona, Minnesota, to come up, and this is John.
Nice to meet you.
And John is the owner of the company. What's your company's name, John?
RCS Floors.
What does RCS stand for?
River Rock Concrete Solutions.
Oh, River Rock Concrete. River Concrete or River Rock?
River Rock Concrete
River Rock.
Solutions, yep.
And so John, just tell me, what did the floor look like? What did you have to deal with? And then what are the different steps that you did to get it to look like this? I like this. It looks like a river flowing in the lake, but I'll let John talk about what the floor was like.
So when we first arrived, about this half from here to the wall had carpet glue on it previously. So we had to run special scrapers on the grinder to first take the glue off, and then you switch over to diamond tooling on the grinder, and that actually grinds the concrete and throws a aggressive scratch pattern into the concrete, so then that coating then can interlock into that scratch pattern. But the other thing that we had to deal with on this is that it was high in moisture content. So
okay. And what does that mean?
So when we tested this concrete, it was at 5% moisture content. Anything above 3.5%, the manufacturer does not warranty. They don't recommend putting a coating on it, because over time the hydrostatic pressure then tries to escape the pores of the concrete and then pushes your coating off, so it delaminates. So now that we have a moisture mitigation system installed on this floor, that pressure then is going to be released off to the sides instead of going up.
So now we're warranted?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, so now you're warranted.
And that wasn't for free?
No, it comes with an additional cost.
Yeah, but I understood it because you had your moisture gauge and you went all around.
Yep.
One thing, you talk about sanding down the concrete from about here over to that wall where my finger is pointing. That was the concrete from the house that was built in 1967. And the rest of it is the concrete that was poured by Zebro Brothers in 2019, I think it was. And so John, when he got done with his sanding or grinding I think you called it,
Correct.
You really could not tell color-wise what was old and what was new. That's how much that sanding refreshed the concrete that was here. Now, what else did you do then, John?
So after the mitigation system was on, then we needed the color black underneath this floor to bring out the depths and the different varieties of the colors.
Now, let's just see, John. So, like right here, that's probably part of the black.
Correct.
And part of the more brown.
Like this here, that's the black coming through.
Okay, that's the black.
That's a little bit of the black actually telegraphing through too.
Got it.
So that's why the black primer is actually a big part of this floor. If you were to choose a different color primer, your floor wouldn't look the way that it looks right now.
And I got to tell you, when he put down that black, and it took you until day 3 or 4 before he was able to put down that black primer over the moisture mitigation system. When he put that down, I probably would have been very happy with that just as it was. It was so thorough, and it was nice and shiny. That's what I liked about it. But the best was yet to come. Now, how many colors did you use? You had the black, but then you had other colors.
Yes, so you have 2 metallic accent colors here
as
well. You were going after the copper bronze kind of theme look, and I think we achieved that pretty nicely.
I think so.
So then those two metallics then get mixed in together. You pour them out together. You spread them out. You kind of you put some waves in there and things, and then you actually just walk away. And then over the course of the next 12 hours, that metallic epoxy starts just kind of doing its own thing and leveling out.
And those two colors, the brown and the yellow, they get mixed in with epoxy, correct?
100% solids epoxy.
So this thing's got the moisture mitigation, which is that, I think that was white.
Yes.
And then the primer, which is black and shiny. And then you had the epoxy mixed with the brown and yellow. But John, you missed a lot. You missed a lot of the description because, for instance, these are the floor outlets that I think it was 2019 my friend Pete and I put in before this floor was all poured. And John found that when I had chipped them out, because we had covers on them to keep the concrete out, when John chipped them out, when I chipped them out, John found that they weren't real nice and circular. So what he actually did is he put tape around it, standing up, and made like a little dam, and you did concrete on that.
Correct.
And you repaired those. So
Correct.
Those will be nice. What we're gonna put down, and I'll just grab it, and we're gonna put down a nice brass cover. And you see, that'll look real nice. Now, John, you also missed when you were describing it. I guess I wouldn't have you write a book on this if this is how thorough you are, because there was all these score marks that had been put in here so that
we had control joints that we had to fix as well.
And what's a control joint?
So it's when the concrete company is done pouring your concrete,
Yep.
they cut control joints in it to relieve stress.
That was a $400 charge, I remember.
And that's to relieve stress. So then the thought of it is if your concrete cracks, it's going to crack in that control joint.
Yep. Now, but then there was also two other, I would call them large cracks. They weren't any more than probably 2 feet long, but was one of them, was it right here?
Yes.
There was a crack, 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 inch wide.
Yeah, 8/4, I'd say.
And I would defy anybody to try to find where that was. Same thing over there. I have like 8 or 9 2x6s to provide support up through the roof.
And we fixed those too with a structural epoxy, actually.
Oh, what do you mean by?
So it's meant to actually hold that crack together. So
Okay.
if that crack ever wants to crack again in the future, it actually cracks next to it. That
Okay.
exact crack won't crack again. So it's very structurally, very good.
Yep.
Very good product.
We had had 2 posts in the original house. Honest to God, I just told John before we started, I can't even find where the holes were. There's maybe about here, one there, and then there was a drain over there. I had put some concrete on top of it, and then John came through and put a skim coat on top of it, and then that got sanded when you were doing something.
Yes. Yep.
I got about 50 seconds left for you, John, but I just want people to get an idea of how thorough you were. And this isn't a paid announcement. I don't do this often, but I do it with John because I'm very impressed. He could have easily wussed out and shortcutted me, but I know he did not. Right in here, in the original house, they had put in a drain tile, and they had maybe 1/4 of an inch of concrete over the top and then a lot of rock. And John found it. I knew it was all there, but he found it when he was prepping the floor. And just tell me quickly, John, what did you do in this area where that concrete was put in to cover the drain tile rock.
So we cleaned everything up first, prepped everything the way that
I mean, when you say cleaned it out, you pulled it back. Maybe, I don't know.
Took out all the loose product that was in there, we took out, because if you have loose product in there, then it's not going to perform that you need it to perform. So we took that loose product out and we put it in a cementatious patch, let that cure out, and then we actually did that again, but we were able to get it much smoother, and then we kind of feathered everything out a little farther, and now you're unable to see the repair.
Yeah, and when you say feathered out, it's like the small sander, isn't it, that the hardwood floor people use, where they get along the wall?
Yes, yeah. That's a part of it.
He's got a lot of equipment that he has, anyways, I would highly recommend him. John, do you want to give a plug where your address is and your phone number?
So we're just out of Winona, Minnesota. So
and you drove up here every single day?
Yes, we drove up.
And how far is that?
We commute, it's just over 2 hours. So we commute, we go to Des Moines in 4 hours plus out. So Southeast Minnesota though, RCS Floors.
Yeah.
Give us a call if you need anything done.
Yep, out of Winona.
Out of Winona.
And we found him through a Google ad on the internet. Linda called about 4 people. There were only 2 that ever returned her call, and John was the second one. So we had somebody to compare him against as far as what his product looked like and the like. And we're real pleased. We're happy we did it. And good luck to you, John. You've been in business. You've been doing this type of thing for
8 years.
8
I've
years.
been in the industry for 8 years.
Yeah. So very good. Good luck to you, John.
Thank you.
Bye now.